Hello everybody, Adam here for A Strings again, and today we are looking at the Katana amps by Boss. So the Katana amps are Boss's first foray into the amp range, and in my opinion, they are, as it stands, the best modeling amp on the market so far. I said modeling, not profiling. Let's not get that comparison mixed up just yet. So, as you know, as you watch the videos, you know that we work in a music shop. So we have every other modeling amp that you can think of. Every time we A/B against something, the Katana comes out on top. So I thought, why not bring them into the room and make a little video and see what they can do. And it's just an excuse for me to play around in the room, if I'm honest. But hopefully, if you are interested in these amps, you'll get a little bit of an insight of what they can do and what they sound like. So with us today, we've got the 50 and the 100 2x12. We did have the 100 1x12, but that's sold. We can't keep these in the shop. So as soon as these go back out on display now, they're probably going to go again. So while we've got them, let's do a video. So I'm going to run through the 100 2x12 today. Probably going to have it on the quarter watt setting just because we're in the shop. We're going to talk a little bit about the power selection options a little bit later on, but don't be put off by the fact that it's on a quarter watt tonally, because there's really no difference. So let's talk a little bit about the Katana range and what Boss have tried to do. So what Boss wanted to do with these amps essentially is create something that, first of all, sounds amazing, because why would you want to put anything out that sounds anything less, or at least try to be anything less? Second of all, easy to use, and we will go through the panel and the interface and just show you how easy it is to use. And thirdly, price. These come in, as it stands, the 50 comes in at under £200, which is ridiculous. It's crazy for all the tone and volume and sound that you're getting from this 50 for under £200 is it's a no-brainer really. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a quick look at the top panel. Tom is going to hover over us like a drone, and he's going to get some shots of the top of the amp. And I'm just going to show you each little section, really quick overview, just to show you what is on the amp, if you picked one up, what you'd be getting, and how you get started, basically. So here we go. So starting from our left-hand side, we've got our 5 amp channels. So we've got acoustic, clean, crunch, lead, and brown. We've got our amps, gain and volume. EQ section, really nice and simple, bass, middle, and treble. Now this is where it gets a little bit interesting. So we've got effects here. So three different pots for our effects. So as you can see, these two are sort of dual effect pots then. So you get to just before 12 o'clock, and we're on the booster setting. So that's booster at almost max. And then just as you lean over the 12 o'clock mark, we're going into the mod section, and that's our mod just starting. Obviously that's mod on full. Now, these two here are our sort of dual taper pots there. Obviously reverb is just one, so that's just reverb min, reverb max. Each one of these has 3 different colors, which gives you 3 different types of effect. So you're getting 3 boosts, 3 different types of boosts, 3 different types of mods, 3 delays, 3 effects types, and 3 reverbs. So altogether, just in the amp as it comes, there's 15 different effects for you to mosey about with there. Onto the final setting, obviously we've got our power selection, which I'll talk about in a minute. Overall presence and master. Now you'll see what we've done is put our master on full, and this is a little trick that Mark from Boss has taught us. Again, I'll teach you that little trick later on. On the 100, we have 4 channel options with our panel. On the 50, it's 2 channels and a panel. So what we have 4 channel settings which we can save and we can write and save our own presets. And then panel is essentially what you see on the top is what you get. So, for example, if my panel is as it is, I'm going to be on the acoustic setting with everything just out after 12 with no effects whatsoever and a little bit of presence. So with the power selection, we have, on the big one, we have a half a watt, a 50 watt, and 100 watts. And on the 50 watts, we have half a watt, 25, and a 50. Now, these are not attenuators as you and I would know the attenuators from, back in the day when we'd have our Marshall or AC30 and, have to run the attenuator on Enable to get, sort of the nice, good valve tone from our amps. What these are, they are intelligent power steps then. So they don't, at least in our experience, they don't suck any tone. We can run it on the half a watt and still have everything, all the bottom end and all the sort of, not so much of an air push, obviously, but still have an air push and a nice feel to the combo as we would in the 100 watt setting. So that's a little bit about that. So if you're thinking, well, I want something for bedroom volumes, but a 50 watt is too much, you're not compromising tone by getting this one and running it on a half a watt. I would run it on we are running it on a half a watt, and it sounds amazing. So that's that. Now, I did say about the master volume as well. We recently had the pleasure of having Mark from Bossin, and we were having a chat about the Blues Cubes and the Katanas and lots of other Boss stuff. And he uses a Boss Katana for live, and he said that one day he decided that he's gonna run the master on full and run the channel volume low. So as opposed to what most people would normally do is run our channel volume high and then master we would just creep up. He's gone the other way around. So he's gone master full and volume creep up. So what we found with that comparison is you're getting so much more bottom end and bloom. The amp is really, really, really singing, as opposed to it kind of feeling a little bit squashed when you're relying on channel volume and a low master volume. So that's what that is. So ever since he's shown us that, these amps have all had master full and then dial in the volume. Same with the Blues Cubes. We have tried it out with a couple of different amps as well, of a modeling variety. And it works. It's a good trick. So thank you, Mark. So let's get into some tones. We're just going to have a play through. I've selected and saved sort of 4 presets on there, just from messing around really, just to give you an idea of what this amp can do. We'll go through each amp setting, just to give you a sound sample of them, but we're not going to sit here for hours and noodle away, This is just for you to think, I fancy one of them. What are they like? What do they sound like? It's just our opinion. It's just my opinion. I love them. So let's get into some sounds. So let's dive straight into the panel. First off, we're going to have a look at the acoustic setting. Now, this isn't an acoustic simulator or an emulator. This is purely just a flat response. So there's no amp voice on this channel. It's just your settings through the full range speakers. We're going to go through this Chris Robinson PRS in the middle position, just as an example of a clean guitar sound then. Here we go. So that's the acoustic channel. So that was completely dry. There was no reverbs. There was no delays. That's just that channel dry out of the box. So let's move on. We're going to have a look at our clean channel. So I'm going to keep generally the EQs around the same. We'll tweak for different voicings and things, but other than that, we'll keep it the same. So this is our clean amp setting. Now with this one, I'm going to stick on a little bit of reverb, just to give it something. Let's see where we are with this one. Now, while we're on the clean channel, let's have a look at some delay sounds as well. So we are on, at the moment, the analog delay. Let's just see what we can dial in there. So really nice analog delay, something you'd expect from, you know, the DD of the stomp boxes, or DD3 or DD7. Let's have another quick look. Let's go to our digital. So should be, in theory, a lot cleaner, not so much degradation on the trails. Let's see what we've got. So that's really cool. I really like that. Yeah, I like that a lot. So let's move on to our crunch setting. So just moving over. Now, when we're on panel, if you change amp settings while all your effects are still there, those effects are going to carry across to those other amp models as well. So those delays. They're all still there, they're all still kicking in. So let's have a little look at the crunch channel without these settings. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a touch of spring reverb on. Now to change the reverb, all we're doing is we're pressing the button just above the reverb pot. When it goes red, we know that we're on spring. So I'm just going to put a touch of spring on there, and I'm going to take us to the humbucker, and let's see what we can get. Let's take it to a slightly darker, not so bitey of a sound. So I'm not going to change anything on the amp. I'm just going to change pickup and roll back the volume a touch, just to see how the amp reacts to a lower volume. Now the nice thing about this amp and its gain channels is that when you roll back the volume, you don't get kind of that digital processing sound like that. I'm going to say fart. It's a fart sound. You don't get that real rubbish reaction that you used to get on on digital amps. So, you know, things like, so this is crunch on full humbucker. So that sounds great. That's full, everything up. But on other amps and older amps, certainly, you dial the volume back and things would start to get sort of washy and muddy and the gain would just sound crap. So, and that's the good thing about these amps, is that they react really well to a lower volume. So I'm going to just do the same thing and take the volume back. So really nice, reacts well, reacts how you imagine a turned down valve amp would go. So it would clean up, but still give you the same character and the same warmth without it sort of spluttering out in the same way that old digital gain amps would in that, you know, lower volume style then. So let's move on to the next channel. So this is where things get a little bit hairier. So we're on to the lead channel. So switch it up. Lead channel. Now you can already hear that there's an amp hiss. I'm going to switch some effects. I'm going to take the reverb off completely, and I'm going to give us a touch of digital delay. And let's just see what we've got. So last of the channels is the brown channel, which can only mean one thing. We're going into brown sound territory. So let's see what it sounds like. So no brown sound will be complete without a phaser setting. So let's kick in our phaser. So it's on the mod section, which is just the other side of the boost mod pot. So we're going to kick that mod in there, and it's our orange setting, which is quite apt, being the type of effect that it is. So I'm going to put it on kind of a slow sweep. Nice. So one more thing, we're going to add a touch of delay, and I'm going to tap it with our little tap tempo and get it to an effect that we like. Let's put on the tape echo just to get things sounding a little bit crazy. Take that delay up a touch. that, that'll do the job. Now, earlier on, I told you about our 4-channel presets, 4 on the 100 watts, 2 on the 50s. So very, 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 very easy thing to do, okay? So, for example, we've just made our crazy silly brown sound with lots of delay and phaser, okay? So we really, really like that, and we want to be able to kick that in at a gig or another time and have it stored. So you pick and choose a channel you want to save to. I'm going to choose channel 3. All we're going to do is press and hold, and that'll flash. And now you can see we're on channel 3. Now that should give us like that. Cool, so that's our channel 3. So we've just saved that in, that's there. So I'm going to quickly just take you through how easy it is just to go between our channels. So all I've done is I've set up a clean on channel 1. If I want to change anything on there, all I have to do is like, yeah, bit more treble. Let's add a bit of a blues drive. And I want all the reverb in the world. I don't want all the reverb in the world. Still too much. Cool. So, you know, at different gigs, different venues, what might sound like a good reverb in the practice room or in the bedroom might sound totally out of place in, you know, in the Royal Albert Hall, because that's where you guys are going to be playing. So just dial it back, press and hold our channel 1. The 5 lights will flash, and then we should be locked in. Nice. Now every time we go back to that, you can power it off, take it home, plug back in, and that's going to be there, okay? So that's that one. I put in channel 2, put in a bit of a crunch with some delay and reverb. I put in the hall and the tape echo. Nice and simple. Again, if I wanted to make edits, it's as simple as moving everything around, press and hold, channel 2, done. Channel 3 we've looked at. So channel 4 features an effect that I use live, and the fact that it's in an amp already and is this good sounding just takes away the effort of an amp, pedal board, and setting everything up, making sure your pedals are right every time, because knobs do move. And that's the octave setting. So this is the octave, and we've got in some tape echo and a little bit of plate as well. So tracks really well. I mean, it sounds crazy. We've got it on the lead channel. So just all out sort of, you know, big, heavy warfare, which is what I like. Now, I don't want to get too thrashy, so I'm going to stay away from that. So in terms of the tracking of the octave, let's take our gain down. So we're actually going to put it on a crunch sound. So we're going to keep the effect there. So as you can see, tracks really, really well, really, really fast as well. There's no issue there. You know, that lower octave is keeping up and is just in time. So that's a very, very quick overview of the Boss Katana range. Now, we've gone through a few effects. There's a few more on here. If there's something that you didn't see or you don't see on the description, a USB into your Mac or computer, the Tone Studio app from Boss means that you can chop and change whichever Boss stomp boxes that you like and don't like and just flip them in and out. You can edit on the interface, and it's a very nice, big, colorful display for us guitarists. We like things to be nice and simple. The other cool thing which was taught to us by Mark was that in the Tone Studio app, if you're playing heavier styles, things can get a little bit loud. You know, the amp noise and guitar and pedal noise, you know the type of noises I mean, can get a little bit sort of gnarly. What you can do in the Tone Studio app is actually engage a Boss NS2, tweak it to your liking, and it will actually sit in the preset of your amp, but not actually take up an effect space. So I think that's a really cool thing as well. And you don't lose a pedal option or an effect option by having it in there. So again, you know, a really, really handy thing to have. Something that a lot of people think of, you know, if they're playing heavier styles, it's like, you know, one of the first things we go and buy is a noise gate or a noise suppressor. So these amps are in stock and in store at A-Strings at the moment. Any more information you need, you can visit us at astrings.co.uk. You can give us a call, pop in store, you know the drill. They are flying out. I mean, I'm not exaggerating. They don't last at all. As soon as we get stock in, people are coming in and buying them, and we're stuck with nothing to display or to show people. So that's why we did the video. Any questions you have, just visit astrings.co.uk, drop us a line, give us a call, pop in for a coffee. It is one of those things where feeling the amp in front of you and, you know, feeling the sort of the air move on your legs. And it's one of those things that makes it a great amp. It's got the cab feel. It's got the space. It's making the depth then. It's not just a sound in a box. It's filling the room like you imagine, you know, a real big loud tube amp would. And that's, you know, I thoroughly recommend them. I thoroughly recommend that you try them. To be honest, if you took a risk and took one home, I'm safe in the knowledge that you would enjoy these. They've done something magical, and I can't wait to see what the evolution of the Katana will be, because as a first off, they're brilliant. So if you liked the video, give us a thumbs up. Any questions or comments you've got, drop them in the comment section below. So for more up-to-date info, just follow us on Facebook. It's A-Strings or A-Strings UK. And you'll see different live videos. There's more information about products and clinics and different things like that. Or just subscribe to us here and keep up to date with our videos. We look forward to seeing you very, very, very soon. Goodbye, my friends. 真的。哎，等等等。